Okay, for anybody joining us live, thank you for joining us. Just finished our awards recognitions, and we're now moving to the regular meeting. I don't think that there's anybody online, but it's recording, so I'm not going to say anything stupid.
That's good.
But I think we can move to the agenda.
All right, we're going to go ahead and call our regular meeting of the Wayne County Board of Education to order. It is 6:39, and if you'll stand, we'll say the pledge. Mark, you want to lead us this evening?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let the record show that all board members are present in person this evening.
Recognitions we just concluded. That was our students who exceeded standards on the summative assessment for Tolsia High School and its feeder schools. That was our recognition for this evening.
Okay. Any presentations this evening?
No presentations.
Let's move on to our good news.
I wanted to mention that Kellogg Elementary is going to be hosted by the State Board of Education at their next state board meeting in November and recognized for the National Blue Ribbon recognition.
Excellent. Anyone else? Any other good news to share? All the recognitions this evening were good news. So we'll take that. Informational items, special meeting on Tuesday, October 29th, beginning at 4 at Dunlow Elementary. And then we will move to Genoa Elementary at 5:15.
Approximately 5:15. Those will be live streamed as well as we get set up.
Gotcha. No school on November 5th. That's Election Day. No school on November the 11th. That's Veterans Day. Regular meeting on Tuesday, November 12th, beginning at 6 in the board conference room. Special meeting on Tuesday, November 19th, beginning at 4 at Eastland Elementary. And then a regular meeting on Tuesday, November 26th at 6 in the board conference room.
I want to mention that regular meeting on the 26th, that is on the week of Thanksgiving break. I'm fine if you want to keep it there, but if we want to move it up a week, we could combine it with a meeting at Eastland. And we don't have to make a decision now.
I'm fine with it.
Just food for thought.
Get it over with.
Okay. We'll have it on the next agenda for you all to approve, but we'll probably move the regular meeting that's scheduled for November 26th up to November 19th. We'll just host it out at Eastland and kill two birds with one stone that evening.
Sounds good. Construction project updates?
Yeah. Just real quickly, Wayne Elementary School major improvement project. That's the pre-K room addition. They are pouring footers as we speak.
Wow.
And they'll continue to pour footers through the end of the week. And then they'll lay around the block, and they're hoping to be pouring the floor for the addition next week. Our multi-school HVAC project is complete. I've sent out messages to all the schools. These ESSER projects were difficult because there were so many schools. And usually when you do a project, you're communicating with one person. You know, we had projects in, I think, at least 10 different buildings, if not more. And so it is, it's difficult to manage all that when the work's just going on everywhere. So we're following up with the schools right now to make sure that everything's working correctly. We know that there are some cleanup items that are occurring down at Wayne High with some of the new units that were put in there. We're experiencing some leaks down at Wayne Elementary School, and it's not with the new part of the project, but the old part of the HVAC system that remained is having some leaks there. So I've had the contractors come in. They were in yesterday. They're looking at what the fix is going to be there. I think we're going to have to replace some old valves, things like that. So we've got some ongoing work to make sure that everything is running smoothly coming out of that project. So that's the update for there. The two other projects that we'll be working on here throughout the year are the Sarita Canova major improvement project. That's the renovation of the Wonder Dome, the lower level of the Wonder Dome, and that is still in the design phase. So is the Buffalo School. So at Buffalo, they've been doing the traffic study. We have a meeting scheduled next Friday. Or is it this Friday or is it next Friday? I think it's this Friday. Yeah, I think we have a meeting this Friday, and hoping to hear some of the results from that traffic study so we can start identifying what the traffic pattern is going to be for that school. But both of those are in the design process and will remain so for months. Our solar project, all the panels were installed at Sarita and Canova Elementary School. We're waiting for the meter to be delivered by AEP that allows the two electrical sources to come through the meter. We're waiting for that to be delivered. And then the next phase of the project is going to be Crum. And so they'll be moving down to Crum next. And then Wayne High School VOAG, we did the building that we had purchased. We're wanting to get that under roof as soon as possible. They did the dirt work on that. And then we are talking to some local contractors that put up those buildings to get an idea to see if we can get some help on getting that building up. So I hope to have a report out for you on next steps for that here sometime in November.
Great.
That's all I have.
You expect any need for acquisition, right of ways or anything like that at Buffalo?
Yeah, there's possibly could be some acquisition that we need to do to address the traffic issue. So we'll see where that goes. We've talked to some of the owners of property in the area. Some are willing to allow us to use the property if it'll help. So we just want to get an idea of exactly what's going to be the best route so we can pursue and secure what the best route is going to be.
Any delegations this evening?
No delegations?
All right, let's move on to our superintendent report.
Okay, first up, earlier this fall, I told you that the U.S. Department of Transportation came in to do a compliance check. And specifically what that was about, there has been a number of cases of bus drivers having substance abuse issues across the state and bus wrecks occurring, that type of thing. So when the Department of Transportation came in, what they were doing, they wanted to check our drug testing program. But while they did that, they checked absolutely everything as far as making sure that drivers were prepared. So we did have one notice of violation. You have a copy of that. The second page is not included with this. I'm going to send it to you in a separate email. It gives you the specifics. The violation that we had was we had 3 drivers whose CDLs had been downgraded because of not having the proper physical on file. Now, we had collected the proper physical, turned it in to DMV, but their records had not been updated.
Okay.
And so that's what we were cited for. Gotcha. So this, you'll see on here that there's a corrective action that's required that's already taken place. So this will be clear. So again, they came in looking at our drug testing program to make sure that that it's being ran the way that it's supposed to be. And that is it's a random selection drug testing program, but every bus driver is a part of that random selection. Gotcha. And there were no findings with it. So overall, we're pleased that this was the only issue. And again, it's already been corrected.
Perfect.
Any questions regarding that? Okay, next up, 2024 West Virginia Department of Education approval status and accreditation. You're going to see a memorandum that was sent to me from State Superintendent Michelle Blatt on September 19th. And this was embargoed until the school board, the West Virginia State School Board, released the information, but it gives you our approval status and accreditation. So we are on watch. You are on watch if you have one county level indicator that does not meet standard. That's stage 1. Stage 2 is support identification, and that's if you've been on watch and you've shown no improvement. And then intensive support is if there's been 3 consecutive years of no improvement of that on watch standard. So if you remember the last time that we had received this scorecard, we were on watch for attendance. And if you look at the back of the memo, it gives you our Wayne County's information. So our balance scorecard, which we've already been over back in September, but we are on watch for attendance. And I believe last year, if I'm not mistaken, I think every county in the state was on watch for attendance. I'm not sure if that holds true this year, but we are on watch for attendance. As far as support and intensive support, there were no indicators identified that we needed to be on support or intensive support. Our indicators of efficiency, and we share those efficiency reports when we get those. Those come from transportation, they come from special ed, they come from title programs. And so the one that was marked needs assistance with special education, but you're already aware of that because we shared that report back in June. And then we spoke about what our corrective action plan is. And our action plan, we created that internally. That wasn't necessarily for the state, but we created an action plan for that needs assistance marker. And we shared that with you. I think it was late August that we shared it with you. So that's the same information that we've talked about a couple times. Now, also with the memo, I ran off a attachment from the State Board of Education meeting from the Office of Accountability, and this gives you the entire state and shows you how each county fared. And there are some counties that are not on watch for attendance because it's moved up to support because they haven't shown improvement in the last couple of years. So that'll just give you an idea of how things are playing out with the balance scorecard across the state. Any questions about any of those items? And I know there's a lot of information there, especially if you start looking at all 55 counties. So if at any point you want to have further discussion about this, we can put it on a future agenda to come back and review. Okay. And then the final thing I want to mention is we are preparing for our annual strategic planning meeting to share with some of our key community stakeholders the work that's going on in the district and to have discussions about what else we need to be thinking about. That meeting is scheduled for October 30th from 2 to 4 p.m. and that will be at Creekside.
October 30th.
October 30th, 2 to 4 p.m. That's a week from tomorrow.
That's it.
That's all I have.
Do you have a list of people that we've invited, business?
Yeah, so I'm going to do two things. What I'll do, I'll follow up with an email that gives you the specifics on the Department of Transportation report, and then I'll provide you the list of the strategic plan folks. But we do have folks from the Cabell Huntington Hospital. We have folks from the labor unions, from the industries, and then various county representatives. So we'll provide that list to you.
Great.
And once you see that list, if there's anybody you want us to include on the list, just let me know.
Okay. All right, moving on to our board directives, board reports. We have none this evening. We have no unfinished business, so we can move to our new business consent action items. Superintendent recommends approval of the following action items. Additional items received prior to the time of the meeting may be added. Discussion and/or separate action of the items may be requested by members of the board and/or the superintendent. Number 1 is consider for approval the recommended personnel matters on pages 1 through 3, and I believe we have a revised version.
There were some names that were taken off the agenda, so those are on pages 1 and 2. You'll see they're red or blue and marked through. That's the only changes.
Gotcha. Do I have a motion?
Approve as revised.
Motion by Randy, second by Mark.
I have a question.
Sure.
With this, Tammy Williamson secretary, she's just now requesting a paid leave from October to November that we're gonna approve tonight. And so how would they go ahead and post the job and have someone to hire tonight? I thought the job had to be approved. That leave has to be approved before the job can ever be posted, doesn't it?
Which one are you talking about?
Genoa Elementary.
Which one is?
So Dunlow and Genoa, Tammy Waller. Are you talking about the
No, Tammy Williamson.
Tammy
Genoa.
Williamson?
So she we approved an intermittent leave of absence for her in August. You know, she could take days when she wanted to. Well, now she's requesting a paid FMLA from October to November, and they've already got somebody hired in her place, and that job shouldn't have been posted until we approved the leave, should it?
Well, I don't know the history, so.
But I mean, in law, we can't go ahead and post a job for somebody that you just don't have a position for, can you?
Well, you can post it as long as it's posted pending board approval, meaning you wouldn't have to approve the request for the leave of absence.
Okay.
So is it possible? Yes. Why these were run concurrently, I don't know. I didn't notice the connect. Yeah, I didn't notice the connection. But I'll be glad to check into it and let you know why that transpired the way that it did.
Right.
And so was there a leave approved prior to this for Tammy Williamson?
Yes, but it was an intermittent
It was just intermittent.
in August, yeah.
Just need to make sure that that's pending approval, just so we don't get
Right.
Because really,
dinged for it.
I can see you can, but most of the time, or always before, they didn't post a job until after something was approved.
And usually we
The action
don't.
was
Sometimes there are circumstances that come up, like, if it's in early August and we're trying to get a
Exactly,
position
yeah.
filled,
I
that
know.
type of thing.
Right.
So I would have to check to see what the circumstances
Okay.
were.
Okay. I just thought because just to see if it's
Yeah.
on the up and up.
All right. Any other questions or concerns about our personnel matters? And we had, the Krista Clark was not on our
And why
original.
is that on there? The Krista Clark's marked through, but she's not on our
Original.
original. Why would they put her on and mark her through?
She was probably going on. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate.
I know, definitely. I mean, it's fine they took her off, but she wasn't on to start with. Just wondered.
Let's say what that is on page 2, you had the transfer.
Hang on here. Who are we talking about now?
Stacy Hardwick.
Oh, see, she's on. Okay.
So Stacy Hardwick was scheduled to go into that job, and then when she didn't, they were probably going to go ahead with the next highest bidder, which would have been Krista Clark. So when the original agenda was posted, it was Stacy Hardwick. It was being switched to Krista Clark.
Okay. All right, just like with that though, with Melissa Stroud. Okay, so wouldn't she have had to change her mind before the posting period ended?
Yes.
Did we make that policy?
Yeah, we've got the policy change, but we've got to notify all the employees that the
Okay.
policy's changed. So
Right.
we're gonna send out the notification. And that was my question as well, Johnny, is, we had three 3 withdrawals here,
Right, exactly.
basically. So my question is,
That's what
why?
we're trying to get away from.
Right, and we haven't noticed the employees yet, so I would talk to personnel today. They're gonna go ahead and send out a notice to all employees that new policy is in effect, so that should limit this in the future.
All right. Any other questions? So we have a motion by Randy, a second by Mark for personnel matters as revised. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. 2, consider for approval the purchase requisition order and quotes in excess of $5,000 on pages 4 through 8.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Johnita, second. Second by Dennis. Questions or concerns on those purchase orders? I think I had any. Nope. No one?
That, just to let you know, that light speed that Joe requested a purchase on, the $30,000 PO, that is it's our classroom management technology software. So it gives our teachers the ability to see all the computers in their room from their desktop.
Oh, okay.
And so all the laptops being utilized in the room, they can see the screens of those from their own desk. In addition to that, it also provides the service of being our filter for the internet. So it helps us comply with everything that we should have restricted within the buildings.
Good.
So it's a dual purpose.
I know, right? All right. No other questions? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. New business, separate action items. Number 1, consider for approval the out-of-state travel request. We have 3, an employee to travel to Chicago, Illinois for the Midwest Band and Orchestra Clinic, December 17th through the 20th. Employee to travel to Orlando, Florida to attend Future Education Technology Conference, January 13th through the 18th. And an employee to travel to Savannah, Georgia to attend the National Youth Advocacy and Resilience Conference, March 2nd through 6th.
Motion to approve.
And you have a separate attachment on those that lets you know exactly who those employees are. The employee to travel to Savannah, Georgia to attend the National Youth Advocacy and Resilience Conference. The school is actually going to be showcasing what they do. That's Wayne Elementary School. They're going to be showcasing what they do there with their accountability partners within the district. So they're going to be a part of that conference as well.
Wow. So they present as well.
Yeah, and then on the one that's the Future of Education Technology Conference, that's our technology integration specialist with the classroom. So that's Kara Porter. She works with our teachers on technology integration. I had a conversation with her. These conferences, as you can look at the pricing, sometimes the registrations are expensive, and of course the mileage rates keep on going up around them, the hotel rates keep on going up around them, so they can easily hit $3,000, $4,000. So we'll be cognizant of that going forward. You don't see too many of these. It seemed like they all came in at once, but I want to point out that they are spread out throughout the year as far as when they're going, because they have to know ahead of time whether they're going to be able to go to those. But we'll be cognizant of the money being spent on those just because of the cost associated with it.
Any other questions or concerns? So Johnny made the motion. Do I have a second for that? Randy? No questions? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Potential items for a future agenda.
I'll talk to Mountain State about a possible contract. We have a teacher that in the district that has a visual impairment, and she's a really good teacher and has been a really good employee. And her previous assignments, we've been able to provide extra help within the classroom as far as supervision in the classroom through co-teachers or aides assigned to students, that type of thing. She, in her current assignment, those type of support services aren't available throughout the day. So I think what we're going to do is provide her an aide to work with her in the classroom to provide supervision in the classroom. And I don't think it's something that we're required. She teaches high school.
Okay. Oh, no, I think it's a
Yeah.
great idea. I was just wondering.
Well, I don't think that we're required to do that as far as accommodations go, but she does a good job, and I'd like to support her when we hit these years where it's just not possible to provide the support internally. So I did talk to Mountain State about doing a contract for it, because if the need goes away, those are at-will positions.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
And so if she would transfer to another setting where that need went away, then we could do away with that position. So at a future agenda, I plan to bring that contract to you. Other items coming up, I've mentioned this before, the comprehensive educational facility plan. I gave you a copy of that.
Yes, you did.
We need to update that. That will be on your next agenda.
Oh, dear.
Okay. We've been posting a wastewater treatment plant operator for the maintenance department. We've had that posted a number of times. It's hard to find somebody that is certified for that. I think we do have some employees within the district that are seeking to obtain that certification right now. I've also been approached this week by some contractors who are willing to provide the service to us through a contract. So I'm talking to them to get a price to see what that sounds like, and to see how that works with our budget, and to see if it would be beneficial to consider a contract. So I'll keep you posted on that as we move, but that could be something that's coming up as well.
Okay.
And then we talked about on the Buffalo project, we talked about that there would be that's probably going to recommend to you that we did something with a construction management firm, and we went beyond a clerk of the works because of the size of that project.
Good.
And we'll probably be putting out a request for proposal here in the next week or so to solicit offers from construction management firms for us to consider. And so, again, that won't be on the next agenda, but I think, sometime here, late fall, early winter, we'll be seeing some action on that item. I just wanted to bring that to your attention. And that's all I have.
I have an item that I would like to consider on a future agenda. I would like for us to seriously consider bringing the fire science technology class to Tulsa and Spring Valley, whether it be on a rotational basis or whatnot, next year, so we can plan ahead a little bit. We have, I talked with our instructor last week, and he's very pleased with the way that things are going at Wayne. There's been major donations. As you know, we've got the fire truck donated to the county. We've got multiple equipment items donated to the county. And I feel like it could benefit our county if we bring it to our other schools also.
Sure.
I hope that was the plan from the beginning, but
It was
sounds
not,
like-
never said in.
yeah,
Brian.
it sounds like it's
So it's
taken off,
You know what?
Yeah.
taken off at Wayne,
Yeah.
so that's good. I'm glad it's gained some popularity, so good.
Just want to make sure we get it there before we.
Mark, are we still at 8 students there?
Yes.
Okay. And that'll be difficult to change that number, once the year
Oh,
starts.
yeah.
Right.
But yeah, it's good that they're sticking there at 8.
It's not bad considering it was kind of a late start.
That's what I'm saying. We can have time. That's the reason I wanted to get it on the agenda future, so we know next year, we can say it's coming to Tulsa next year, or whatever. If they want it, if they want it.
I stopped down at the Wayne High earlier this week. It was first thing in the morning. I was walking down the hallway. Of course, they have that glass in the hallway, and the fire truck was out back, and it was they were shooting water up into the
Panic.
trees, and I won't name the person, but somebody thought something was on fire out there.
Panic.
We said, no,
It's
I'm sure
okay.
I'm sure it's the class.
Just a class. That's
Yeah.
fine.
There's been a lot of talk about it. There's been a lot of the kids that I saw talking about it, and not just at Wayne. It's been statewide. I've had several delegates that's contacted me wanting to know what they can do to get it implemented in their county. So I think we've got a great thing going. I'd like to see it grow and come through all of our county.
Now, which schools are gonna be doing it?
He's talking about possibly rotating it or establishing it at all three schools.
We're fortunate to have a
Yeah,
good
it should be
instructor,
all three.
so that's
Mr.
half
Lilly.
the battle right there.
Yeah.
Is there interest down here for
Well, I mean,
firefighting?
at this point, we've not really talked a lot about it with
They not,
students.
we want them to.
So that would kind of be our first step is to have like a fact find.
Yeah.
Like just to gauge the temperature.
Sure,
But we can certainly do that.
sounds like a plan.
Okay.
All right, anything else? Anyone
I
else?
actually want to come and speak to you this evening about,
Okay.
our instructor wants to come here.
Yeah.
And I would like to come with him, but there's no objection.
All right, anyone else?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Up, you're too slow.
Dennis has got the second.
Johnita, Dennis says the second. Johnita,
Yes.
Who
all in
else?
favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Snooze, you lose, Dennis.
Motion carries 5-0. 7:09.
Okay.
Perfect, thank you.
I feel like-
Okay, that concludes the meeting. For those of you that joined us online, thank you for joining us. I think we've had our largest audience ever tonight. And Kathy Miller, if you're out there, hello. And we will, or you all will hear us at the next board meeting or join us live at the next location. Thank you.
And we do autographs.